Daughter, before you walk through that door and get lost in the frenetic pace the world tries to impose on you, I ask you, stop, breathe. I know your feet are already ready for the rush, and your mind is already miles ahead, solving problems that haven't even dawned yet. But this whisper from heaven is a personal invitation for you to take this moment just for yourself. Perhaps you arrived here feeling you needed a sign, a gentle breeze to calm the inner storm, and this encounter is not a matter of chance. It's an encounter marked in eternity. There's something I want to show you, a piece of the puzzle of your life that you haven't yet been able to fit, because the noise around you has been too loud. I know the silence of your kitchen when everyone has gone to sleep. I know the silent prayer you say while driving to work. Just as I took care of every detail in the lives of women who, before you, also felt they had no more strength, I am here to take care of you today. If you allow my voice to guide you to the end of this message, you will discover that what seemed to be an end is, in fact, the beginning of a restoration that your eyes can hardly believe. If this word of God is touching you, comment below with your name, the country, state, and city you are watching from, and what time it is there. I feel your heart is beginning to open, like a flower seeking the first light of morning. Let this feeling overflow in a gesture of absolute surrender, and say from the depths of your soul, Lord my God, I am here. I signed up because I love you and want to hear you. Stay with me until the last second of this journey, for I will give a clear answer at the end of this journey. A phrase will be whispered to your heart, and whoever keeps it with faith will see doors opening where before there was only concrete. The silence I offer you now is a sacred pause. The world tells you that stopping is wasting time, but I tell you that stopping is gaining life. I saw you sitting on the sofa, your eyes fixed on some random point, trying to understand how life became this tangled mess of obligations. I saw you holding back tears in front of the mirror so that no one would notice your fragility. This moment is my embrace for you. It's not a sermon. It's a conversation between father and daughter. I want you to visualize a tranquil room where sunlight softly filters through the curtains and where the only sound that matters is the beating of your own heart, finding the rhythm of my love. You have been running from yourself, but you cannot run from me because I dwell in your essence. There is a peace that surpasses all understanding, and it is available now at this very moment, if you only decide to release the keys that bind your spirit to what is fleeting. However, my daughter, silence is only the beginning of healing. There is something deeper, something you have been carrying without realizing it, and it is draining your colors. If this gentle touch on the soul resonates with you, consider signing up to walk closer to my voice and share this embrace with someone who also needs peace. Do you feel that your life has had spaces for silence, or has noise been winning over your mornings? Write in the comments with faith. Quietude. I have been carefully observing the way you walk, my daughter. There is an almost imperceptible inclination in your shoulders, a weight that doesn't translate into kilos or grams, but that bends your soul in a way that no one else can see. I saw you arrive home last night, place your bag on the kitchen table, and let out a sigh so deep it seemed to empty all the air from your lungs. At that moment, in the silence of those walls, you felt as if you were carrying the whole world on your shoulders. You carry the expectations of your children, the worries about bills due on the 30th, the weight of words left unsaid at your wedding, and the silent pain of dreams that seem to have been forgotten in some drawer of the past. You carry the weight of your children's expectations, the worries about bills due on the 30th, the burden of words left unsaid at your wedding, and the silent pain of dreams that seem to have been forgotten in some drawer of the past. You try to smile at the world. You try to be the pillar that supports everyone around you. But I see through the mask of strength. I see when you look in the bathroom mirror and no longer recognize the sparkle in your own eyes because they are clouded by exhaustion. Know that I know every burden you have taken upon yourself that was never your obligation to carry. You have tried to be your own God, trying to control the winds and waves of your life, and that is why weariness has become your most faithful shadow. For it is written in the book of Matthew chapter 11 verses 28 to 30, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy, and my burden is light." Now imagine that I am sitting beside you on that sofa, where you usually cry in secret. I extend my hand and begin to remove one by one these invisible burdens. The guilt of not being perfect, the fear of an uncertain future, the need for approval from those who don't know your worth. I want you to feel the lightness of simply being my daughter, cared for and protected. The scene of your life that I see now is you leaving the weight on the cross and walking again with your head held high, feeling the sun of my grace warm your face. I did not create you for the slavery of weariness, but for the freedom to walk in my presence, where tomorrow is not a threat, but a promise that I have already prepared. If your heart felt the weight lessen as I spoke, feel free to seal this moment with a sign of gratitude, enrolling in this journey and sharing this relief with another soul who walks bowed down by pain. What do you feel is the heaviest burden preventing you from breathing peacefully today? Write in the comments with an open heart, "My surrender." But listen carefully. As I remove the weight, something new begins to sprout in place of the pain. There is an invitation that heaven is making now, a call to something that will transform your vision of what it truly means to give and receive. Daughter, at this moment when relief begins to flood your heart, realize that life is a sacred cycle of sowing and reaping. I don't just want to remove the weight that hurts you, I also want to place seeds of eternal life in your hands. Look at your story so far. How many times have I used human hands to reach you at the bottom of the well? How many times has provision arrived through paths you never imagined? There is an invisible connection that unites those who love my voice, and this connection is strengthened when we decide to sustain the altar where my word is released with purity. I see your generosity even in the little things, and I know that what you plant today, you will reap double in the time of my perfect will. Let your act of faith be a loving response to my constant care for you, for in the realm of the Spirit, generosity is the key that unlocks the flow of abundance. As you walk through this valley, realize that every act of love is an echo of my own heart, which gave itself entirely for you on the cross. If it is possible for you, only if it is possible, transform your gratitude into a seed of love through this channel. Consider my love and that of my Son Jesus, and contribute using the link in the description of this video and in the pinned comment. There you will find the place where your offering of love can be deposited and consecrated before the Creator of all things. You can contribute any amount. If you want a different amount, just type in the desired amount. And remember, only what fits in your heart. I receive with love. The amount doesn't matter. What matters is the heart with which you give, because what is little for you can be a lot for the one who receives it. Whoever contributes any amount with a sincere heart, please remember to include your name and city with your contribution. On the first day of the following month, in a unique and special video on our channel and page Divine Love, the Voice of God, your name will be remembered, mentioned in gratitude, and covered with divine blessings released in prayer. For it is written, "Each one should give what he has decided in his heart to give, not reluctantly or under compulsion, for God loves a cheerful giver." 2 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 7. Every offering made in faith is a seed before me, your Lord, and I will not fail to bear fruit. I see in secret, and reward in the sight of all. Stay until the end of this message, because I still want to touch your heart with my voice. I saw when you sat on the kitchen floor, leaning against that wooden cabinet, while the rest of the house slept a deep sleep that you couldn't reach. The light from the refrigerator was the only silent witness, casting long shadows on the tiles that seemed as cold as your own chest at that moment. You didn't say a single word. There was no more strength to pray with structured phrases, clear requests, or loud cries. All that remained was the rhythmic and heavy sound of your tears hitting the floor. At that moment, you thought that crying was the sign of your final defeat, the overflowing of a weariness that seemed incurable and endless. You felt small, forgotten, and immersed in a desert where no one could find you. But I want you to look at this moment through my eyes now. On this journey we are making together, each of those drops did not fall in vain. They were not lost in the cracks of the grout or in the oblivion of the early morning. I was there, right beside you, crouched in that dark kitchen, gathering each one with the care of a father who knows that there, in that salty and warm liquid, was contained the most precious seed of your soul. You thought you were only suffering, but I was watching you water your own tomorrow. The desert through which you have walked in recent months is not a place of death, although the heat of the trial tries to convince you otherwise. It is, in fact, a field being prepared for a harvest the world has not yet seen. For it is written in the book of Psalms, chapter 56, verse 8, "You keep track of my persecutions. Put my tears in your bottle. Are they not in your book? Yes, my daughter, I have an eternal record of every time you swallowed your tears so as not to worry your children, every time you took a deep breath so as not to explode with pain in front of those who don't understand you, and every time you broke down when you were finally alone with me. Your tears are phrases that I read perfectly when your voice falters. They are the fertilizer that keeps your roots alive in the midst of drought. While you feel exhausted and with nothing to offer, I am using that same moisture to soften the hardened soil of your heart, preparing it to receive flowers that never wither. In that absolute silence, where only the ticking of the clock on the wall seemed to echo, I was weaving a new strength within you, an authority that is only born in the darkness of trial, a faith that only becomes unshakable when everything around seems to crumble, and the only thing that remains is me. Do not despise your time of weeping, for what you plant with tears you will reap with songs of joy. The floor of that kitchen became an altar where you surrendered yourself without reservation, and I accepted your sacrifice of pain like a sweet fragrance that rose to my throne. You are not alone in your sorrow. I am the God who weeps with you so that soon you may smile with me. If the whisper of my love has reached your wounded heart now, leave your sign of affection by liking this message and sharing this comfort with another soul who has also been weeping in secret during the early morning hours. Subscribe so that we can meet here every day and walk in intimacy. What would you like to say to God about the tears that no one else saw, but that He collected with so much love? Write in the comments with all your faith. Tears of hope. But listen carefully, my little one. Although the desert has been your setting for a long time, I have prepared something so that you will never again feel lost or directionless when night falls again. There is a secret of constant companionship that I wish to reveal to you now, a way to keep this conversation burning brightly in all your dawns. The day is beginning to dawn outside, and as the first rays of sunlight touch your bedroom window, I want you to realize that you don't need to face the challenges to come with just your own resilience. The night was long, and tears watered the soil of your soul, but now the time has come to walk in the light of my presence. I know that the noise of worries often tries to drown out the sound of my whisper within you, and that accumulated weariness makes you feel lost. Therefore, I have thought of something special so that you will never again feel alone in the invisible battles of your daily life. I want to be your constant companion, that voice that awakens you with hope and makes you rest in safety. If your heart desires to go deeper with me, I have left you a gift in the form of a journey that I wrote with much love and care for all my beloved daughters and sons. The digital book called Divine Love Devotional, The Voice of God. It was prepared to accompany you day after day in silence and intimacy. Access is also available via the link in this video's description and in the pinned comment. And if today is not possible for you, don't condemn yourself. Stay with me here because I will also sustain you with this message. And so that your heart may rest and not be confused, after you register, access will arrive in the email you registered with all the correct instructions step by step to get you started. For it is written, "Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." Isaiah 41 verse 10. Feel my care in every detail of this journey I have prepared. It is an invitation for you to learn to hear my voice amidst the noise, finding comfort in difficult times and wisdom to decide your future. Now close your eyes for a second, feel the air entering your lungs and receive my peace. Do not rush to leave, for there is still something profound that I have reserved for this moment, something you have sought in many places, but that only I can deliver to you now. Remain silent with me and continue to listen, for the following revelation is the key you have been searching for. Do you feel you need a daily anchor so you don't get lost in life's storms? Write here in the comments with hope, light on the path. Perhaps you thought your finger simply slid across the screen and stopped here by mere chance or a fleeting suggestion of technology. But I invite you to look deeper, beyond the surface of what human eyes can see. This instant, this precise second in which my voice reaches the depths of your soul, has been kept secret since the beginning of time. There are no accidents in heaven's plans. I planned this encounter long before you were born, even before the first breath of life was breathed upon the earth. I knew that on this day, at this exact hour, you would need a breath of hope not to give up. I saw the moment when you were almost ceasing to believe that I still spoke. And that is why I prepared this sacred silence between me and you. For it is written in the book of Psalms, chapter 139, verse 16, "Your eyes saw my unformed body. All the days ordained for me were written in your book before one of them came to be." Imagine that I wrote the script for this encounter in eternity. While you were walking today, preoccupied with endless tasks or feeling the tightness in your chest that anxiety brings, I was already here, waiting for you. I saw when you felt that urge to seek something more, a hunger that the bread of this world cannot satisfy. The scene I see now is you, perhaps holding your phone with trembling hands as you walk down an empty hallway, or sitting on a park bench trying to isolate yourself from the surrounding noise, finally realizing that there is someone who truly knows you completely. This is not just any video on a platform. It is a portal of intimacy that I opened to tell you that you have never been invisible to me. I kept this secret for this moment because I knew that today your heart would be ready to hear it. There are certain truths that we can only receive when pain makes us more sensitive, when weariness breaks down our defenses and allows us to lower our guard before the sacred. You have sought answers in dry places, in advice that brings no peace, and in distractions that only increase the emptiness. But here, in the secrecy of my presence, I am giving you the confirmation that your steps are guided by me. Every time you thought you were adrift, I was at the helm. Every time you felt alone in the midst of the crowd, my hand was upon your head, protecting your thoughts. This moment is the seal that you belong to a story much greater than your daily struggles may suggest. You are the most precious project that heaven has ever undertaken, and no detail of what you have lived so far has been wasted or forgotten by me. Feel now the importance of this eternal commitment. You are not just a number in a statistic. You are not a mistake of the past, and you are certainly not what people say about you. You are a beloved daughter who had a scheduled meeting with your Creator, and this meeting is happening now, transforming your loneliness into solitude with me. Let this certainty reorganize your thoughts and restore the brilliance that discouragement tried to steal from you. If you feel deep in your soul that this meeting was truly prepared by heaven for you today, leave your sign of gratitude by liking this message and subscribing so you don't miss any of our upcoming scheduled meetings. Share this secret with someone who also needs to know they are not walking alone. Have you ever felt that a moment in your life was a coincidence that seemed too perfect to be true? Write in the comments with all your faith. Divine plan. But there is something more that this meeting wants to restore in you. Something that the world, with all its haste and judgment, has tried to stifle for too long. There is a voice within you that has been silenced by external voices, and I am about to restore it to its rightful place. Daughter, the noise of the world is like a rushing wind that tries, at all costs, to extinguish the flame of your identity. I have observed how external voices, the harsh criticisms, the demands for perfection, the labels placed on your past, have created such a deafening noise that you have begun to forget who I planned you to be. The world calls you tired, insufficient, someone who has passed the time to bloom. These voices scream in your ear when you walk hurriedly down the street, when you open your social media and compare yourself to plastic lives, or when you lay your head on the pillow and the silence of the night is filled with the echo of cruel words someone said to you 10, 20 years ago. But I am here now to silence this multitude of judgments with a single whisper of truth. I saw you that day, standing in front of the bathroom mirror, the yellowish light revealing the marks of tiredness under your eyes. You ran your hand over your face and, for a brief second, didn't recognize the woman who was looking back at you. Where was that girl full of dreams? Where was the courage that made you believe the sky was the limit? The world tried to silence that woman, burying her under piles of dishes, bills, romantic disappointments, and professional frustrations. But while the world gave you titles based on what you produce or what you failed at, I had already sealed your name with the blood of my Son. You are not your mistake, you are not your pain, and you certainly are not what people say behind your back, for it is written in the first letter of John, chapter 3, verse 1. See what great love the Father has lavished on us, that we should be called children of God. And that is what we are. The reason the world does not know us is that it did not know him. Feel this truth now penetrating the layers of your heart, like a balm that removes the crusts of bitterness. Being called my daughter is not an honorary title, it is your deepest essence. Imagine now that I am removing from your head this crown of thorns made of worries and placing, with all tenderness, a diadem of grace. The scene in your life that I am restoring at this moment is you walking again with the authority of one who knows that the owner of the universe is your father. When you understand who I am, you finally discover who you are. The voice that the world tried to silence is regaining strength, not to shout at people, but to sing hymns of victory within you. This identity as daughter is your greatest defense against anxiety. If I care for the birds that neither plant nor harvest, imagine what I will not do for you who are my heir. Stop trying to prove your worth to those who have nothing to offer you. Your worth was determined on the cross, and it is non-negotiable. Every time doubt knocks at your door, remember the look I give you now, a look of pride, of unconditional love, and of someone who knows the potential I myself have placed in you. Your voice will be heard again, but now it will have the timbre of peace that only heaven can give. If this restoration of identity has touched your soul, show that you accept this new name by liking this meeting and subscribing so that we can continue this sacred conversation every day. Share this message with a woman who has also forgotten her worth before the Father. What did the world say you were, that my love is now refuting in the depths of your heart? Write in the comments with all your spiritual authority, I am your daughter. But don't think the restoration stops here. I see that you feel cornered, surrounded by walls that seem too high to jump over. But there is something I have prepared, an exit your eyes have not yet perceived, an opening of light where everything seemed to be only stone and shadow. My daughter, I see how you have been feeling lately, as if you were walking down a narrow corridor that, with each step, seems to close in a little more on you. There is a suffocating feeling that wherever you look, you find only high, grey, and absolutely insurmountable walls. You look to one side and see the wall of debts that keep growing. You look to the other and see the cold wall of loneliness that has settled in your house. You look behind you and see the rubble of decisions you wish you had made differently. And before you, there seems to be only the hard concrete of a future that offers no way out. I saw you that afternoon, standing in the middle of your living room, your hands pressing your temples, feeling that the air was becoming scarce because you felt completely trapped by life's circumstances. But listen carefully to what your Father has to say to you now. In this moment of silence, where your human eyes see an end, I see only a necessary curve. Where you see a wall that prevents you from moving forward, I have already designed a window of opportunity that your vision, clouded by weariness and tears, has not yet been able to perceive. You have been trying to push these walls with the strength of your own arm, wearing down your skin and your soul in a futile effort, without understanding that the key to the way out is not in strength, but in trust. I am the God who designs escapes in the midst of chaos and who transforms labyrinths into smooth paths. For it is written in the first letter to the Corinthians, chapter 10, verse 13, No temptation has overtaken you except what is common to mankind, and God is faithful. He will not let you be tempted beyond what you can bear. But when you are tempted, He will also provide a way out so that you can endure it. Imagine that I am holding your hand now and leading you to the bottom of this alley that you fear so much. While you touch the cold surface of the wall and cry out for not seeing a way out, I gently breathe upon the structure, and my light reveals a glimmer of hope, a door that was disguised by the shadows, a window that opens onto a horizon you never dared to dream of in your moments of greatest despair. I prepared this escape while you were still in the midst of the struggle, even before you realized you were surrounded. I designed the solution the very second fear whispered that you were lost. Remember that time you were on the bus, returning home after an exhausting day, resting your head against the cold window and watching the city walls rush past. At that moment you felt that your life was exactly like those buildings, heavy, limited, and colorless. I was there, whispering to your heart that the journey was longer than you wished, but that the arrival would be glorious. Those walls you face today are not to stop you, but to protect you while I prepare your next scenario. They serve to filter who enters your intimacy and to keep your focus only on my voice. The way out will not come from your despair, but from your surrender. Feel now the fresh air that begins to enter through this crack that I have just opened before you. If this vision of freedom has brought new breath to your lungs now, show that you accept the escape I have prepared by enjoying this encounter and signing up to continue listening to my directions. Share this light with someone who also feels without options and without a way out. In the midst of this seemingly irreversible situation, can you feel my spirit guiding your feet in a new direction? Write here in the comments with all your conviction. Open door. But, my little one, escape is only the first step out of isolation. As soon as you cross this new opening, there is something I want to do with the marks the walls have left on you. My touch serves not only to point the way, but to restore the beauty that the dust of the road tried to hide. Something that will begin now, so profoundly that you will feel heaven itself embracing your oldest wounds. Come a little closer, my daughter. Now that you have crossed that door I opened and left behind the suffocation of the walls, I want you to sit with me for a moment. The sun has already set, and the shadows of night are beginning to enter your room, bringing that silence that for many is frightening, but which for us will be the setting for your restoration. I see when you lie down, and in the darkness, the memories of betrayals, losses, and words that cut like razors throb again, like a scar that insists on hurting when the weather cools. You spent the whole day pretending everything was all right, being strong for the world. But now, in the secrecy of your rest, the wounds are exposed. I extend my hand now, a hand that bears the marks of sacrifice for love of you, and I gently touch those places where the pain still burns. Feel this warmth that is not of this world. It is the touch that calms the inflammation of the soul, that removes the poison of bitterness, and that restores sensitivity to a heart that, from so much suffering, has become numb and hardened. You thought you would have to live with this pain forever, that it was part of who you are. But I tell you that pain is only a departing visitor. What remains in you is my life, vibrant and renewed, for it is written in the book of Psalms. Chapter 1, 147, verse 3. He heals the broken-hearted and binds up their wounds. Now imagine that I am undoing every poorly applied bandage that you yourself have tried to put on your anguish. I am cleansing the impurities of the past with the pure water of my forgiveness and anointing your head with the oil of joy. The scene I see now is you, finally, releasing the breath that has been held for years. Can you feel it? The weight in your chest is dissipating like mist before the sun. I am restoring your hope, not as a vague wish for things to get better, but as the unwavering certainty that I am in control of every detail. Where there was despair, I plant peace. Where there were ashes, I place beauty. This gentle touch is my signature on your spirit. It says that you are the exclusive property of the King, and that no evil is allowed to continue dwelling where I have made my home. That pain you felt last week, while washing your face and wondering if you would ever truly be happy again, was the last cry of a past that no longer governs you. From this moment on, your hope is rebuilt upon the rock of my faithfulness. You will dream of tomorrow again, not with fear, but with the expectation of one who knows that the Father has prepared surprises of kindness along the way. If this restorative touch has reached the deepest part of your pain right now, leave your sign of healing by enjoying this moment and subscribing so that my voice continues to be your daily balm. Share this restoration with a friend who also needs the Father to touch their wounds today. In light of all you have endured, what do you most desire my touch to heal in you now? Write in the comments with the humility of a daughter, touch of life. But, my little one, before we conclude this meeting, there is one last revelation I have reserved. The restoration was profound, the door was opened, but now I want to show you what lies just beyond the horizon. The new dawn is not just an idea, it is a reality that has already begun to unfold while we were talking, and the next chapter of your story has golden letters that I myself began to write. Look now at the horizon, my daughter. While we were here in this place of intimacy and silence, the world outside continued to turn, but something fundamental changed within you. The sun is beginning to rise, tearing through the cloak of darkness with fingers of golden and rosy light, and this spectacle is not merely a phenomenon of nature. It is a reflection of what I am doing right now in your soul. The time for looking back with longing or bitterness is over. The chapter of tears on the kitchen floor has closed, and the page has been turned by my own hands. I am holding a golden pen now, dipped in the ink of my grace, and I have begun to write the first lines of your new dawn. I see you in a few days, perhaps even tomorrow. I see you preparing your coffee, feeling the fresh aroma fill the house, and suddenly a new thought will cross your mind. It will not be a thought of fear or of, what if everything goes wrong again, but a gentle certainty that you are safe. You will look out the window and realize that the colors seem more vivid, that the weight on your shoulders has truly disappeared, and that a soft song is springing up in your spirit. This is the new chapter. This is the story of a woman who was tested by fire, but who didn't emerge smelling of burnt blood. She emerged with the glow of resilience and the strength of one who knows the voice of her Creator. For it is written in the book of Isaiah, chapter 43, verse 19, "Behold, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs forth, do you not perceive it? I will make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert." Yes, my little one, rivers of joy are beginning to flow through paths that were once dry and barren in your life. I am sending new people, opportunities you thought you would never have, and a clarity of mind that will allow you to make decisions with peace and wisdom. What I am preparing for your coming months is not just a temporary improvement, but a complete reconstruction of your joy. Do you remember how you felt when this encounter began? Tired, surrounded by walls, and with a wounded soul, but see how my light has rearranged everything. The dawn that begins now is the seal of my faithfulness. I didn't bring you here to leave you halfway. I brought you here to show you that my love is the force that propels you into the future. The pen is in my hand, and I promise that the end of this story will be more glorious than the beginning. You no longer need to fear the night, because now you know that I am the Lord of the dawn. If you feel the light of a new time illuminating your face now, celebrate this new beginning by liking this message and subscribing so we can walk together each new day. Share this new dawn with someone who is still lost in the darkness of the soul. If you could describe in a single word the feeling this new chapter brings to your heart, what would it be? Write in the comments with all the hope of heaven, new beginning. But don't go yet. Now that the sun has risen and your identity has been restored, I want to give you the final key. That phrase I promised at the beginning, the whisper that will seal your victory and give you the strength to face any giant that dares to cross your path from today onward. My beloved daughter, we have reached the end of this sacred moment, but know that this is only the beginning of a new way of living together. We have traveled a profound path today. We left the deafening noise of the world for the necessary silence. We removed the invisible burdens that weighed down your soul, and we saw how your tears on the kitchen floor became seeds of hope. I opened windows where you saw only walls. I touched your wounds with the balm of restoration, and now under the light of this new dawn, I see you ready to walk as the chosen daughter you have always been. Everything we discussed here was so that you would understand that the whisper of heaven is stronger than any cry of despair. You sought a sign, a moment just for you, and I gave you my own presence. The theme of our journey was trust, and the revelation that you were never alone, not even in the darkest nights. What heaven desires of you now is only that you remain in this peace that we have just built. Don't let the noise outside steal what has been planted inside. And now, as I promised when we began this meeting, I want to whisper in your ear the phrase that will be your shield and your strength in all moments of doubt. This is the spiritual key for those who have remained with me until this final moment. Keep it in the safest place in your heart and declare it whenever weariness tries to return. The phrase is, "I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me." Write this phrase right now in the comments as an act of unwavering faith, as a response to the touch that heaven gave to your soul today. By writing these words, you are accepting the strength that does not come from you, but that flows directly from my throne to your life. Let the world see that you no longer walk on your own, but sustained by the one who conquered death. This whisper was just one of many messages I still want to deliver to you. There is so much more that my heart desires to reveal to yours, mysteries of love and paths to peace that are kept for our next encounters. Remain connected to me. Immerse yourself in my words and allow this voice to continue being the compass of your existence. I have prepared a path of tranquil waters for you in our list of sacred messages. Continue listening, continue seeking, and you will see that my voice will become ever clearer in your days. Go now with my peace, with your head held high and your heart full of light. The dawn is yours, and I will be with you every step of the way.